Hi guys, my name is Mila Little and I am an Emerald Ambassador here with Plexus, and I'm just honored to get to share a little bit of my story, kind of how and why I got started with Plexus and some of my tips for you to find success with this business and remind you of why to stay in there, do the hard things. It is worth all the blood, sweat, and tears to hit the jewel level. It just is. And I hope that I can encourage you and give you some tips of inspiration today as well. My journey to Emerald was not a quick trek. It wasn't like, boom, I'm Emerald in a few months. Some of those stories are just incredible and amazing, but mine was not like that. So I want to just share with you kind of how I got started. I was a school teacher before Plexus. I taught middle school. I also coached track and I coached volleyball. I had 2 kiddos. My husband was working long hours and out of town and late nights, and I also started a photography business on the side because my goal was to stay home with my children. I wanted to so bad. Financially, we couldn't make it work. So I just kind of kept adding to my plate thinking, how can I financially make this happen? So I turned to Plexus because I was just exhausted. I was burning out all ends and I needed energy. I started the products. I actually not only noticed the energy, I had the digestion relief, and then my biggest part was all my seasonal issues that I would deal with, my itchy, watery eyes, my runny, sneezy nose from spring until fall. I was miserable and had been my whole life. Every year they'd give me a new medication to combat these horrible symptoms, and it would just be to get me by. I'm now off those medications and I'm so grateful because I got my gut healthy. And so after when I very quickly noticed those symptoms going away, and I could not help. Everybody who knew me knew that I struggled with those issues. I couldn't help but just share with my friends, with my coworkers, with my family, and I started to notice the income. And so that's when I really thought, because initially I'd said, no way, I cannot do this business. My plate is already so full, it's overflowing, and I can't add one more thing. So if you ever have somebody who you think, oh gosh, they're way too busy, they work night shifts, they work 3 jobs, they have 3 kids, they have all this stuff, you might find that those are sometimes the best and most motivated ambassadors that you will find. They know how to manage their time and work all the things, even though we felt like we were going under, like I did. It turns out I was very driven and I had goals and I was gonna not stop until I hit those goals. So never, ever, ever discount those people who tell you they're too busy. Let them get started on the products, let them have a health transformation, and I can about guarantee you their minds will change, especially when they start realizing they're getting some income just by sharing with others. So that's kind of how I started. Within a year of sharing, I just really decided I'm going to kind of go all in with this. Within a year of sharing and taking it very serious, I mean, I was a sponge. I was at night listening to all the videos. I was doing all the training calls I could ever get on. I was just pouring into Plexus, allowing others to pour into me. Within a year of that, I was able to come home with my kiddos. I had 2 kids at the time, and it was such a financial blessing to be able to come home with them at that point. And so I continued to share, I continued to grow my team, and a few years later, I actually hit Emerald. My track to Emerald was 5 years. It took me 5 years to hit Emerald, and I can tell you it was worth all that time and more, okay? So here are some things that I did that helped me get through those hard times. There were times that I was stuck at a rank for 18 months and more. 2 years, I thought, oh, I've been here forever. I'm just ready to give up. But I wouldn't let myself. I've seen these stories. I know that if I was actually told by Coach Cuevas at my very first Plexus convention, by the way, events I cannot speak enough for. You have to get to events. Right now they're virtual, they're great, but if you can get to an in-person event, it's incredible. Coach Cuevas told me my very first convention, which was like a year into my journey, I met him on the elevator and I said, he's one of the top ambassadors with Plexus, and I asked him, what's your top tip to success? And he said, it's very simple. He said, it's like 3 words, maybe 4. Never, ever, ever give up. 5 words. That was simple. He said the only way you're guaranteed to not hit your goal and not make it to the top is if you give up. So I just decided to put the blinders on and get to work, to do the work. And when I say blinders, I really mean it. So I'm talking those friends that you see and they're just flying through the ranks and they're so inspiring. I'm about to get interrupted by a little one here. I also homeschool now. I have 3 kiddos. Oh my goodness. He's watching replay on the Chiefs. You can tell we're some big Chiefs fans. He's watching the replay. Anyways, he told me never, ever, ever give up. And once I put on those blinders, and here's another tip I'll give you with the blinders, those people that are flying through the ranks and you're like, wow, they're just so amazing. How are they doing this so quickly? Sometimes you need to put the blinders on from those people. They are amazing and there's nothing wrong with them. They're doing awesome things, but sometimes it just kind of brings you down. You are comparing their strengths to some of your weaknesses and you're always gonna feel less than. That comparison is the thief of joy. It's okay to maybe hit that unfollow button from those ambassadors that are just blowing and going and doing incredible things if it's leaving you feeling down on yourself. Okay, and maybe the time will come where you can then follow them again and be inspired. But if they're not inspiring you and instead it's making you feel guilty and like your business is not growing, hit that unfollow button. Find those people that maybe they're going through the same troubles as you. Maybe you're stuck in a spot and you just need to relate to those people. Find those people, follow them, and continue with your journey. Another one is Power Partners. Power Partners has been an answer to my prayers, and I truly don't think I'd be where I am now without them. I've had different sets of Power Partners throughout my journey, but Power Partners is a must. If you don't have a Power Partner, 1 to 5 people that you are just really close with that you can strategize with, you need them. You need them, okay? Talk with your sponsor and say, hey, I'm ready to lock arms and go. Do you have anybody that will go with me? We will find you a power partner. I promise you. Everyone's looking for power partners. We'll find you a power partner. A couple of things that I had that were great tips for me was stop circling those people. I've got these dream teamers that I'm like, if I could just get them to say yes, I'll circle them. I keep coming back and I follow up and I do all the things and I send a message one time and then I just check in with them personally and then I send a video and then I do all these things. And when I finally got to the point when I stopped circling those same people who were not ready, and they may never be ready, when I stopped circling them and I just moved on, I put them on my follow-up list after like 5 or 6 months, I'll check in. And I just moved on and I really just worked on the rest of my list of people that I have to reach out to. That helped me move forward. I didn't get stuck circling thinking, I'm just gonna, once I get this person, once I get these people, it's gonna be great. So stop circling those potentials and then stop dragging some of your leaders. Guys, we did not get to this jewel. I can about guarantee you, none of us jewels made it to the top by getting drug here. We wanted this. We had this fire and we couldn't wait to do it, and we wanted it for ourselves, for our teams, for our families. Okay, if you have those people that you are just continuing to drag the dead weight, let them go. Love on them, put the opportunity out there for them, and then move on. In the beginning of my journey, I remember a training that said, run with your 10%, which is very hard. If you have 100 people on your team and you might have 10 people that are actually interested in just sharing about the business at all, maybe you have, whatever your numbers are. I think that was a big eye-opener for me. I wanted to get these people, want everybody to share. But in reality, that wasn't always the case. So run with those that are willing to run. Put your time in there rather than your time dragging those along that have the potential, but they just aren't there themselves. Stop dragging them. Put the opportunity out there, and then they will come if and when they are ready. And then last for you guys, stop with the excuses, okay? I'm too busy. I'm too tired. We've got crazy things going on. We've all got the excuses. Every single one of us have the excuses that we can use. Some of them may be more so than others, but where there's a way or where there's a will, there's a way. If you want this, you'll make it work. And whether that's doing it at midnight every night or whether that's doing it bright 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning when you're getting your work done, stop with the excuses and just do it. There was a little quote that came out the other day about working out. It was like, blah, 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 go work out. Like, stop the excuses, go get your rear end to the gym and work out. So there's a few of my tips of how I made it to this jewel level. And I'm just so inspired by all the other jewels. This is how I got here. I listened to people who'd been on the journey ahead of me. And I'm just so grateful that I get to share my story with you. If you guys have any questions, I'd love to connect with you and help you on your journey as well. And I just so appreciate getting to pour into you today. I hope you guys have a great year. 2021 is going to be amazing.